let's say there's 10 guys at a Bucks party. How many out of the 10 would be doing something that would be considered inappropriate by their girlfriends?
10 of them.
The phrase face for radio was invented for Carl Sanderlands.
You've got to accept life as it is.
Oh, I think women are accepting life as it is comfortably. It's any wonder they can make predictions that this is the way that our society is heading.
Men really aren't, I don't know, they will dabble a little bit from time to time.
Can any one of these men that think this way give me an actual legitimate reason why any woman should put up with it?
You girls really care if these guys go and misbehave.
We all know that you would never tolerate this type of behaviour if the woman you're with was doing it. So why should she? Because I'm not naive to the fact that there are endless women, including brides-to-be, who have misbehaved like they're suggesting at bachelorette parties. It is a human behaviour that both men and women are capable of engaging in.
Don't understand how Brooklyn can say, oh, it's just human nature, let it happen.
Because old Brooklyn here is a man with a microphone and capable of thinking for himself. He was graduated from Trust Me Bro University.
But if a girl does it, it's not okay.
It's one of the only examples I've come across that actually is a double standard, that doesn't get labelled as a double standard.
You want a man who is never going to ever misbehave and...
Dakley.
Yeah, do you want the Ned Flanders?
I hope we're all aware we're being gaslit right now.
Do you want like a fun guy who may sometimes do the wrong thing?
What is the correlation with being a fun guy and behaving in a manner that you know that your partner would not approve of? Also, you just admitted it's wrong. Do the wrong thing. You know it's wrong.
I want to say one thing to you. I love my wife more than anything in this world. 6 years I've been married and I still around from time to time, unfortunately.
Then you don't love your wife more than anything in the world.
I love my wife.
How can people be so ignorant of their own blatant stupidity? To be so comfortable to ring in to the #1 radio show in Australia and admit this, you're a grub. If you're that comfortable doing that, surely you're comfortable to tell your wife.
Why can't you just go, you know what, that's a bit rough on my girlfriend, I love her.
It's because they're selfish. They only care about themselves. They don't care to take consideration of how their behaviour may impact others.
Depends whether if you want to risk it.
Because why aren't these men upfront that this is what they wish to engage in on the very first date?
You've got a child and a wife and you think,
Because any woman with any self-respect for herself would never agree to go on a second one.
Sometimes
you
you
don't wanna
balance
risk
it
it.
up. You balance it up.
On the one hand, I see endless videos of men airing their frustrations about a family court system that, in their words, is rigged against them, is set up to destroy men's lives. And on the other hand, you've got men trying to normalise the message that women need to put up with men who misbehave and do the wrong thing. Pick a lane, fellas. You can't have both.
What do you mean?
Why women become lesbians, I'm sure of it.
If you want to mess around with lots of women, just stay single. I don't understand why this is so difficult for these men to grasp. Apparently you think it's easier in your head to gaslight these women into accepting this behaviour from you. And let me be the messenger to just try and drill into your head the reality of the world, which is that women are under no obligation to put up with it anymore. So if you're a man who gets into a relationship and even gets married and continues to misbehave and cheat on your partner, and she finds out and she divorces you and takes you for everything that you've ever earned in your entire life in family court, I have no sympathy for you. You made your bed, you lie in it, and take responsibility. Here's a little tip if you struggle with temptation. Do not host and do not attend bachelor and bachelorette parties that are fueled by alcohol and in which male or female strippers will be present. I'm sure I'm not the first one to say this, but I think that bachelor and bachelorette parties are so immature and stupid. If it's just an excuse to get heavily intoxicated, which is a gateway to making poor decisions, especially if the decisions you make will jeopardize the commitment and relationship that you made with your partner. Now, if you're asking yourself, well, why don't these men just have an open relationship? Surely that solves the problem. Well, I'm glad you asked. Because what will happen is the woman will have way more options of men to sleep with than the man will have women to sleep with. And there's a fear and insecurity in all men that you will encounter a man who does a better job in the bedroom than he does. And upon discovering that, why would you go back to him? You could argue the same point about men who go out and sleep with other women and then find a woman who's better in bed than his wife or girlfriend. But from what I've seen from these types of men, they don't see it that way. They call it hardwiring, biology, human nature. We just want variety. Which I've got to ask, what variety are you actually getting when it's more than likely you're just providing orgasm-free, mediocre, unsatisfactory bedroom fun with another woman? The only type of woman that I've seen will settle for something like this is being financially incentivized, emotionally manipulated, or a combination of both. Because any woman that can make her own money, provide for herself, and values herself as a person, and sees putting up with this type of behavior as beneath her, show me a woman like that would happily settle in a relationship with a man that she knew was misbehaving on her and doing the wrong thing. If you ever need an example why no-fault divorce needs to exist, it's stuff like this. It's any wonder there are studies out there that say that single women are the happiest demographic of women. I am sick sick of seeing men excuse this type of behaviour and weasel their way in trying to justify it. I don't want to be one of the boys if this is how you wish to operate. Just because we both have dicks doesn't excuse you from acting like a dick. I want to advocate for men, but for goodness sake, can you start showcasing to the world that you're worth advocating for?